Hey folks, Jason here with another Monday.com tips and tricks video. So in this video, I'm following up on my previous tutorial on how to set up recurring tasks in Monday.com, so I'll link to that here. Today we're going to take it a step further and I'm going to show you how you can keep a copy of the original task in order to have a historical view on statistics. All right, so let's get into it. Now on this board here is the original recurring task demo that I had. And for this new project, I've had to modify just a little bit. So what I did is on the status column, I've created an archive label. And of course, I added a numbers column to represent time that was spent on the individual tasks. So, task 1, 2 hours, task 2, 4 hours. Now, the idea behind this historical view or this copying of original items is because once you hit the status or you change this to done, the due date is going to be pushed back by 1 day because the recurrence is daily. But the 2 hours is not going to change. It's always going to stay 2 hours. It's not going to become cumulative. So somebody who wants to track how many hours they've spent on this recurring task, it's going to be really hard to do. So what we're going to do is set up automations so that this task is going to be duplicated and sent over to another board. So here's how we do it. Automate. All right, so I've already set up the automation. You can pause the video if you want to take your time and copying it over to your account. But basically, here's what it does. So when you change the status to done, you're going to set the status to archive, you're going to duplicate the item, and then you're going to set the status to working on it. So the reason why we're doing this is because when we set the status to archive, this is what's going to trigger the next automation, which I'll get to in a second. And then we're going to duplicate the item. So you're going to be duplicating the item that has the status that's been set to archive. And then this original task is then going to be set back to working on it. I'll show you exactly how that works live. It's a little bit confusing, but you'll see what it's doing. All right, so that's the first automation you need to set up. Then you need to set up a second automation, which is this. So when an item is created, and only if the status is archived, you're going to move the item to a new board that I've called Task Archive. So when an item is created, this is because your previous automation is going to be duplicating the item. So it's going to be creating a new item. And you're going to double check that it's only if the status has been set to archive. And then and only then you're going to move it to the task archive. So this is another board that I created. And here are the items that we're mapping. Basically, we're looking at the name of the task. The person's going to carry over. The status is going to be done. The due date's going to stay the same, and of course I'm carrying over the time allocated. Okay, so I can update that or just get out, and I'll show you exactly how it works in real time. So let's take this task 1. We're going to switch it over to done. It's going to push the date. It's going to archive it. Okay, so it's changed the status. It duplicated it. It pushed the date. And now we're back to how it was before, right? So we have a task 1. Nothing's changed here. All the history, comments, everything stayed the same. The status went back to working on it. Could be whatever you want. And the date was pushed by 1 day. And we have the time allocated that stayed the same. So if we go on to my other board, Task Archive, we now have the copy here. So this task 1 is marked as copy. We have the person that worked on it, the status, the date, and how much time was spent. So if this happens with this automation, when new tasks are complete and they're copied over, it's going to give you a historical view on, say, time allocated. It could be anything. It could be status columns. Maybe you're looking at the type of tasks that were completed or whether or not it was successful or not. There's tons of other columns that you can add and all this be copied over. You just have to make sure that both boards have that same information in the same columns. Okay, so when you're mapping the automation, the result has somewhere to go. So just to give you an idea, in this case, we wanted to keep track of the task time. So if we go to a chart view, for example, we can see October 1st, spent 3 hours. October 13th, spent 2 hours. If we were to do it again, which we can, let's go have a look. We'll copy this one again over. It's going to push it by 1 more day and do the whole process again. And push it to October 15th, and we go back to Task Archive. Now we have the time for October 14th. So this is perfect for reports. It's perfect for statistics, keeping track of hours spent. Like I said, it could be used for a lot of other things. So hopefully this will inspire you for your own use case. Thanks for listening, and if you like more content like this, please subscribe. Thanks. See you next time.